The water at Big Hill Springs never really freezes. It comes out of the ground a little bit warm and flows down the hill fast enough so that there's splash ice, but that's about it. And in that water, there is often a lot of green stuff. This is a kind of grass, I think, that grows there, maybe a sedge. This is watercress. Tastes kind of lemony. Quite yummy, actually. But this squirrel was not happy with me being there. This mouthy little guy would not leave me alone. Every time I stopped, he'd pop up. Yeah, squirrels are very cheeky. And cattle are very sloppy eaters. Found these guys in a field just up the road from Big Hill Springs. Yeah, they were tearing apart these windrows like no tomorrow. But that's okay. The cows gotta eat. The day was sunny, but there was a bit of a breeze blowing up. So I went down to Dog Pound Creek to see if I could find any more green. Surprisingly, there was some open water there. The wind was howling in the trees above, but down in the valley, not too bad. There were some nice reflections on the open water, wind rippled as it was. And some green algae I could see on the rocks below this beautiful splash ice. So I got out my little underwater camera and stuck it in to have a look. Of course, I nearly fell through the ice, but the water wasn't that deep. Keeping with the green theme, I went to another little spring creek, this one in a narrow valley, a bit more out of the wind. The microclimate along that flowing water keeps things green, but that doesn't mean it's not cold in the rest of it. The groundwater coming out of this pipe created a tube that the water kept flowing through. Water always finds a way. I went further west now, heading up toward the Herald Creek Valley. Wasn't really looking for anything in particular, but I knew there'd be plenty of red willows in the beaver ponds up toward the head of the creek. A big beaver house, too. Come springtime, this entire valley will be full of water. I turned around there and on the way back stopped to photograph these wild horses. It's pretty hard for me to drive by a band of wild horses and not stop to take pictures, especially when they're as pretty as these. I love that winter hair, and look at the colors on this little guy. But one of them, that white one in the foreground, looked very familiar. Could it actually be the same little foal I photographed nearly 3 years ago? First I thought it was an albino, but I was told it's called a cremello. You know what? I'm pretty darn sure that's the same horse. Mom and Dad were there, the rest of the family. Yeah, that's my little cremello. Well, on that interesting note, time to head back home. The sun was heading westward and casting golden light on this mama mule deer and last year's babies. And, of course, putting the whitetails into a blind panic. Man, they're ninnies, these things. Yep, flowing water, a little bit of green, a very cheeky squirrel, and a horse, yeah, that was very familiar. I love this country.